In the early days of the Cold War, as the world stood on the brink of a nuclear standoff, the United States found itself facing a formidable enemy in the form of the Soviet Union. It was a time when the threat came not from intercontinental ballistic missiles, but from long-range Russian bombers, poised to strike American cities. In response, the Department of Defense initiated a groundbreaking project, the Nike Missile Sites, a nationwide air defense system designed to protect against a potential Soviet nuclear attack. These Nike Missile Sites, established in the 1950s, became not only highly visible symbols of U.S. military power, but also stark reminders of the looming Soviet threat. They emerged from growing concerns about the Soviet Union's capability to equip jet aircraft with nuclear bombs, evolving over time into an early defense against intercontinental ballistic missiles, or ICBMs. The origins of the Nike missile program trace back to World War II, when the U.S. military began experimenting with missiles and rockets in response to the German rocket program. In 1943, the U.S. Army established the rocket branch of the Ordnance Corps and enlisted the expertise of Bell Laboratories and the Douglas Aircraft Company. Fast forward to 1951, when Western Electric, the project's prime contractor, introduced a 34-foot, two-stage missile guided by a system of 3 radars. This groundbreaking missile could reach speeds of Mach 2 and relied on a highly volatile liquid fuel mixture of jet fuel and nitric acid. It required specialized protective gear and specially constructed storage. The heart of the Nike system was its radar network. The first radar identifies targets from up to 125 miles away. The second tracked those targets, and the third tracked the missile's course, making real-time adjustments. All of this intricate coordination was managed by cutting-edge computers of the era. During the 1950s, conventional anti-aircraft guns were the primary defense against airborne threats. However, as tensions between the US and the Soviet Union escalated, spurred by the Korean War and successful hydrogen bomb tests, the US Army endorsed a nationwide surface-to-air missile defense system in 1951. Then-President Dwight D. Eisenhower assumed office with a pledge to reevaluate foreign policy and harness America's technological advancements for more cost-effective defense systems. This vision led to a transformative decision to equip anti-aircraft missiles with nuclear warheads, resulting in the development of the Nike Hercules missile. The Nike Hercules missile, authorized in 1953, flew at an altitude of up to 100,000 feet and reaches speeds of Mach 3.5. It boasted twice the range of its predecessor, the Nike Ajax, and replaced the risky liquid fuel with safer solid propellants. To accommodate the Hercules, many sites had to undergo extensive modifications. Gas detection systems, upgraded elevator mechanisms, and increased spacing between missile magazines were all essential changes. Approximately 1/3 of the Nike sites transitioned to the new missile. Security became paramount with the introduction of nuclear weapons. Intrusion alarms, fences, guardhouses, and military police units with guard dogs were added to protect these sites. The Army even entrusted the National Guard with operating some of the Ajax sites to save costs. But as the 1960s dawned, the political and defense landscape shifted once again. The Soviet Union increased its ICBM arsenal, prompting the United States to pivot towards the development of strategic nuclear weapons. With this change in strategy, the fate of the Nike system was sealed. Most Nike operational structures were razed as part of Department of Defense remediation efforts. The system's final phase, known as Nike Zeus, was never activated. By 1974, the once dominant Nike Hercules stations dwindled from 164 to just 4, marking the end of an era. The last remaining station, situated at Fort Bliss, Texas, was decommissioned in 1983. Today, many of the Nike missile launch and control sites remain as relics of a bygone era. silent witnesses to a time when the world tethered on the edge of a nuclear conflict. These sites, once vital to our nation's defense, now stand as historical monuments, reminding us of the complex and perilous past that shaped the world we live in today. This is the story of the Nike missile sites, a testament to an era when technology and innovation sought to safeguard a nation against an uncertain future. This is Site LA-88, nestled atop Oat Mountain in Chatsworth, California. A symbol of the Cold War era silently watches over the landscape, bearing witness to a time when the threat of nuclear conflict loomed large, one of the more remarkable Nike missile sites that still stands today. Construction of LA-88 was completed in August 1956, and for 18 years it stood as a vigilant protector, its eyes fixed on the San Fernando Valley below and on the Pacific Ocean ahead. During its operational years, LA-88 was a pioneer in many aspects. It was the first site to employ sentry guard dogs, adding an extra layer of security to its mission. It also marked a significant milestone as the first dual missile site, incorporating both the Nike Ajax and Nike Hercules missiles into its arsenal. Today, the remnants of LA-88 still stand proudly on the side of Oat Mountain. While the surrounding areas fall under the stewardship of the Federal Park Service, the site itself serves a different purpose. It has become a training ground for officers of the Los Angeles Police Department. The grounds of LA-88 bear witness to the intensive training exercises of the LAPD, where bullet castings from countless rounds fired during practice exercises are scattered about. LA-88 consists of two distinct areas. The first, the launch site, is concealed beneath the mountain's surface. It's a place where history was made, where rockets once stood ready to defend the city against potential threats from above. Across the road lies the administrative area, where once bustling buildings stood at the center of a circular parking lot. Here, the battery headquarters, barracks, mess hall, recreation hall, and motor pool were essential to the site's operation. Up the hill from the administrative area is the radar station, perched atop Oat Mountain's ridge. This station played a crucial role in detecting incoming threats, guiding missiles, and coordinating the intricate dance of intercepting potential attackers. LA-88 was not alone in its mission. It was part of a ring of 16 Nike sites encircling Los Angeles, known as the Ring of Steel. Constructing LA-88 presented unique challenges due to the rugged terrain and the necessity of carving a path through Browns Canyon. Despite these obstacles, LA-88's construction was completed on August 26, 1956, making it one of the last sites to protect the Los Angeles area. The LA-88 launch site was comprised of 3 underground missile bunkers housing a total of 12 missiles. A dedicated crew of 109 officers and enlisted personnel tirelessly operated the site to ensure readiness around the clock. Today, LA-88 stands as a silent symbol on Oat Mountain, a reminder of an era when technology and vigilance sought to safeguard a nation against an uncertain future. This site is known as LA-96. LA-96 was more than just a military installation. It was a high-security hub of radar and computer systems designed to detect and track hostile aircraft, guiding anti-aircraft missiles to protect the nearby Sepulveda Basin. The site's iconic radar tower is now an observation point that offers breathtaking 360-degree views of the Santa Monica Mountains. In its heyday, LA-96 was a hive of activity, with buildings housing computers that meticulously recorded, plotted, and coordinated every aspect of locating and neutralizing potential enemy targets. Today, LA-96's grounds may appear serene, but they carry echoes of a time when this place was alive with purpose. It's a stark reminder of the dedication and vigilance that defined the Cold War era. Cold War, you wouldn't have been able to get past this. Gonna start walking up a little bit. And Los Angeles actually has a lot of really interesting Cold War era relics just hidden around the city. For people who live here, you'll recognize there's tons of air raid sirens. Some of those actually go back before before the Cold War. A lot of those sirens are from World War II. But this site was just, it was kind of there to, like a big radar, make sure there's no bombers coming in. And if it saw anything, it would send a signal to launch the defense missiles.